Hmm. So good morning, Neetaji. How are you? ¿Cómo estás?
Hare Krishna Guruji.
Mhm.
I'm recovering from a flu, but I'm well.
Oh, you're sick.
Yeah, I was.
Enferme. ¿Qué se dice? Uh,
Enferma.
enferma. Sí. Uh, I'm in Fuerteventura right now,
Oh wow.
and
You're
I
going.
may come to I may come to Lanzarote, but it's not sure. Most probably, I'll go
Okay.
back to Gran Canaria. There was a plan to come
Okay.
to Lanzarote, but I didn't get any accommodation. So then
Oh,
I'm planning to go back to uh, Gran
so
Canaria
Las
only.
Palmas, so Gran Canaria. And
Yeah,
if
Las
you come,
Palmas.
when are you going to come? Mollis.
Sorry again. Come again.
If you come to Lanzarote, it will be in weekdays or weekend.
No, it's weekdays. So
Okay.
Monday, basically Monday onwards. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, 23, 24, 25. Yeah, Monday, Tuesday,
Okay.
Wednesday. Probably I'll
Okay.
if I come to Lanzarote, it would be Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Wednesday
Okay.
maybe by evening or maybe Thursday I'll leave because Thursday
Okay.
onwards I have a program in Gran Canaria, Las Palmas. 4 days I'll be
Okay.
there.
Perfect. If I had, uh, I can go to Gran Canaria if you're not coming to
When?
Lanzarote, but I have 12 hours of shift on Friday. So coming for Saturday, leaving Sunday, it will be quite tough for me.
No, no, no,
But
no.
well, I will
Sorry,
see.
sorry, sorry. I'll speak to you other day after the class maybe because you're trying
Yeah.
to shift to Gran Canaria, right?
Yes, but that will be by September, more or less. I will get the confirmation by May, and
Okay.
then if I shift to Gran Canaria, it will be by September.
Okay. So let's start the class now. Let me start with invocation prayers. I'll speak you more about Gran Canaria. So Prince, how are you? I'm going to meet you in a couple of days. We'll be living in your area itself with Karishma in Gran Canaria. So let me start with the invocation prayers. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Shanyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So let me start with the new theme. Before we can have a one recapitulation, something you can recollect from your last discussion, last session.
We got
Anything we discussed?
we got
Yes,
to know about the scientific reasons about the God creations in
correct.
different way, nature, human, other livings, but very scientific
Uh,
way.
we studied on the macro and the micro level about the evidences and how we can feel the presence of the creator, supreme intelligent being. And we discuss about the six things. If there is an artistry, there has to be an artist. If there is a control, there has to be controller. If there's a creation, there has to be creator. If there's an organization, there's an organizer. And if there's a law, there has to be lawmaker. And we also discuss about the laws of on the macro level, like the distance between Earth and Sun, the speed of the Earth, and the mass of the Earth, everything, the velocity and everything. So now let me take you. Before I start, let me introduce. When we come to spiritual life, the first thing that we need to understand is so far we have discussed that we are spiritual being and are having humanly experience, right? That's the first basis of Bhagavad Gita. What the people in general they think is we are human being and going to Sunday class for half an hour, attending Sunday class online. or maybe visiting some temple is a spiritual experience, or reading Gita is a spiritual experience. So people in general, they think we are human being and we are going for some spiritual experience. But it's a vice versa, other way around. We are human, we are spiritual beings, and we are having humanly experience. So now in that human experience, right? In that human experience, if we are spiritual beings and having human experience, um, so there are categories according to the mentalities of worshipper. And I can use the word here, say worshipper, or any spiritual candidate, or spiritual practitioner is a good word, I think. Any spiritual practitioner who's approaching the Lord for certain, whatever reasons, can be categorized according to his attitude of his worship. For example, a person may be showing the same lamp, you and me, but according to my mental attitude, my consciousness, my level of advancement, my level of understanding, my spiritual maturity, I can be categorized into different level. Not anybody who is worshiping the Lord is not on the same level. Getting a point? So based on his advancement, maturity, understanding, consciousness, and attitude, he is categorized to certain level. And today in this class, we'll study and discuss the evolution and the progression in our worship to Krishna. As a spiritual practitioner, how do we evolve to the highest level? And what is the highest standard of worship? Now, irrespective of any religion, I'm taking the entire worshipper of be out of any sect, any group, and any religion. Could be Hindu, Christianity, whatever. I'll be discussing about the attitude. In what attitude or what is the motivation and inspiration behind your worshiping the Lord? So that's universal. Somebody maybe worship Jesus, maybe Islam, whatever, Prophet Muhammad. But let us see the attitude first. Hope so far it is clear. So basically, we'll be looking into the motivation for people approaching the Supreme Lord. Now, okay. So understanding the four motivation of the soul based on the Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. Now, first thing, why do we worship the Lord? Why do we worship the Lord? Simple question. Now, let me go back to you. If I speak, I'll be very bored. It's a tough audience if they don't speak. Why do we worship the Lord?
Because we are spiritual beings and it's a service to God. This our dharma is to service to
Okay,
God.
okay. What else, Shubham and Prince, if you have something to say? Why do we worship the God? Such a fundamental thing. What is my motivation? Why do I worship the Lord? Have you ever thought about this? Why do you worship the Lord? Especially in Indian culture, so inculcated in our culture, we don't even think. Natural, basically. So, Prince and Shubham, are you there? Let me see if they are there. At least say yes or no. It keeps us unified. Okay. Anything from the Prince? Hmm. Anyhow, maybe busy. Uh, Now this is personal question to you for your self reflection. Uh, what are the times my worship to Lord becomes more intensified? What are those events which triggers my worship, which invokes my worship to the Lord, which makes my worship to the Lord more intensely? Is it the fear, or is it seeking protection? Is that you have a hope of protection? Basically, hope, protection, shelter. So usually, for the people in general, their worship becomes more intense where when they have some fear, some insecurities, where they're going through some suffering. They're the kind of people. So the point is, just a minute. The point is, the worship becomes more intense in the times of when you're going through some suffering. Hmm? So the aspiration and the motivation behind the worship is to get rid of the problem. Getting a point. So in this way, we'll discuss about the four different mental attitude or the consciousness through which we can ascertain the level of one's advancement in approaching the Lord. So let me share my screen now. So we discussed the external act may remain the same. One is offering, one is folding his hands, praying to the Lord. One is showing the lamp. One is bowing down before the Lord. One is praying to the Lord. The external activities are the same, but the inner motive defines the platform, the category, the level of advancement one is in. And the consciousness determines the quality of devotions. So basically, we'll be discussing ascertaining or trying to know what are the different quality of devotions being offered to Krishna. But before we start this discussion, any contact with the Lord, any connection with the Lord in any form, with any attitude, is good for the practitioner, a spiritual aspirant or practitioner. Because one who associates with the Lord through the medium of prayers or any devotion service, he will progress from one level to another level. So now, let us discuss the first level, the worship out of fear. The basic fundamental psychology is I'm afraid. Could be because of health challenge, could be because of some events, some circumstances in situation, maybe exam failure, a job, or maybe partner, whatever. So the idea is I'm approaching the Lord with a motivation. I have a fear inside with a motivation. Please protect me. That's good. Any fear, any insecurity which brings you near to the Lord is good. Problems are good if they remind you of Krishna. As simple as that. So fear of karma, some suffering, some death. So the first thing Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter, the 16th verse, the distressed, those who are in miserable condition, who have some miseries, they approach the Lord. So Krishna says, this is the first kind of person who have come and approached me. He needs protection. He's thinking the life is going out of control, and I need the protection. I know I need the Lord to take charge of me. I don't have any other hope. So that's a beginning stage. It's better than atheism, rather than not believing to the Lord, believing on one's own endeavor, one's own efforts, and there's no God. It's better than that stage. At least you are approaching the Lord. You accept and acknowledge the presence of the Lord. There's a supreme Almighty. There's a person who is supervising the activities of each of us. That's the first level. The worship out of fear. And it can be beginning, yeah? Beginning. Most people fall into this category. They have some insecurities. What kind of insecurities they have? Could be financial. Financial insecurity we'll discuss in the next step. Psychological, emotional, people feel loneliness. Getting a point. They have relationship issues. They have different events in their life. They have relationship insecurities, emotional insecurities, maybe social insecurities. Sometimes you're living life just to prove to others. So you're not living your life, you're living somebody else's life. I'm not I'm not what I think I am. I'm not what you think I am. I am what I think you think I am. Got a point? This one of the psychologists said. I'm not what I think I am. I'm not what you think I am. I am what I think you think I am. Basically, people are living somebody else's life. It's called psychology, it's called proving persona. Trying to prove yourself to others, your word to others. Social insecurities. So approaching the Lord out of fear. Now, the limitation of fear-based worship is what? Relationship based on punishment. Or if I don't if I don't approach the Lord, I may be punished. In some of the concept like Christianity, the God sits on the dais and he's very fearful personality, and it's a doomsday, and you'll be punished for your own activities, what you have done in this world. any bad, and you'll be rewarded for the good. So Lord as a punisher, and Lord protects me, but I have a fear. So limitation is remembrance disappears when fear disappears. So your visit to the temple disappears, is stopped when the fear is disappeared. When your work is done, okay, now I'm in my own world, and I'll go to temple whenever I have next fear. So it means the bhakti, the devotion to Krishna is not mature. It's just a beginning. It's just initial point. So the second platform is the psychologist, please give me something. Could be wealth. And this is what Krishna says in the seventh chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Artharthi means someone who's seeking the wealth. He comes to me. First one was distressed. Artho means distress. He's in miserable condition. So he's seeking the protection of the Lord. The second category, he's seeking the wealth from the Lord, particularly wealth for his marriage, for his health, for his success, whatever. He's seeking something from the Lord. So you heard about law of attraction? What is the law of attraction? People now there's a one book called Secrets. You read that book? One of the very famous book on the law of attraction. You know anything about Nita? Law of attraction?
Yes, you basically think about the things you want, and the more you think, the more you are near the desire you want to fulfill.
Basically,
Mm.
the universe is saying, in universe, there's a principle law of attraction. The universe says to you, suppose universe has a body, suppose, imaginary body. He says to you, your order is my command. That is their idea. You just order, you just desire, and you will get in this world. That's law of attraction. But your desire has to be proper, certain, very intense.
Mhm.
So, okay. So that's the law of attraction. Your command is my your command. Your order is my command. What you think and align with. Yeah, basically there's some rules behind it. Now, the second types of worship. Let me share my screen. Approaching the Lord out of desire, with some motivation of seeking wealth or say any success of this world. People in general, there are categories of people. They think the Lord is the order supplier. The law of attraction is more or less the same concept. The Lord is the order supplier. You should have your list. Not you should have people come and approach the Lord with certain list of their things and approach and present to the Lord, and they desire the fulfillment of those desires. If desires are fulfilled, so what is so second level is I approach the Lord with some desires. I have some material desires which I think the Lord can fulfill. And sometimes people put condition, oh Lord, if you fulfill my desire, so I may give say 10% of my profit to you. Something, some transactions. So relationship with the Lord is transactional, kind of a business type transaction. So the point is, the first level is out of fear. Second is out of desire. I approach the Lord because I want something from the Lord. Now, the first thing is Lord is not just an order supplier. Our Srila Prabhupada, who founded ISKCON Society, he would quote many often, Lord is not just your order supplier, that you have a list of things and you order to the Lord, and he's just sitting there, standing there, just to fulfill your desires. Obviously, the Lord is there in that deity form, the Murti form, to bless everyone in this world. That's the nature of the Lord. To anybody who comes in contact with the Lord, to bless him. Now, if the desires are fulfilled, that's okay. Motivation it continues. But if desire is not fulfilled, sometimes people change their God, their faith. Okay, maybe this time Ganesha is not working. Maybe let me go to Shiva. Maybe Shiva is not responding. Maybe let me go to Krishna or Vishnu or whatever, or Durga. So basically, people want their material desires to be fulfilled. Whosoever can fulfill it. Any personality of Godhead can fulfill that. They want their material desires. So what is the limitation here? The limitation is I want what I want from the Lord, what I want. But this desire can be spiritualized. Give me what that brings me closer to you. So when one has spiritual knowledge with some association by reading of Bhagavad Gita and some spiritual association, the desires get purified if he stays in connection with the Lord. And ultimately, he's supposed to come to this level of, oh Lord, you decide what is best for me. So through our prayers, through our devotion service to Krishna, we get purified with our desires. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, Yoga Shema Vahamiham. I maintain my devotees. Those who are surrendered to me, I maintain them. Hmm? Krishna becomes a vehicle, like who's driving, taking charge of the devotee's life. So first level is out of fear, approaching Lord. Second level is out of desire. You want money. Basically, you want money. First is you have some suffering, you have some distress. Now, in these two levels, there's a demand from Krishna to seek something. There's some selfish interest, something that you're seeking from Krishna. I want this from Krishna. Now, the next level is worship out of duty. The psychology is it is my responsibility to worship God. Just like Nita Mataji said, why do we worship the God? Because it is our duty. The Lord is our supreme master. We are the soul, and He created us. He gave us sun. He gave us. He made this creation. He made this island. He made this city. He gave good air to breathe, good family. So being grateful to the Lord for the facility that God has given to us. And in justification, we are worshiping the God as a master, and we are His servant. So ideas of duty. So this kind of worship is very steady. Why? Because it's not based on some demands or some fear. Because of fear, when the fear is gone, worship will also stop. When the desire is fulfilled, worship also stops sometimes. You discontinue to worship the Lord. But in this case, the worship is steady. But still, the worship is more of a mechanical. Yeah, gratitude is there, responsibility is there, the duty is there, but that affection is not so much there. Simply worshiping as out of duty. It's my duty, my responsibility. So that affection part, spontaneous affection is lacking. So that is why the duty versus love. In duty, you have discipline so that your worship continues. You take as responsibility, but the love is more spontaneous affection. Duty sustains the practice, but the love gives you. Love is that thing which makes the relationship. It's called rasa, the relationship with the Lord. That is experienced fully in love, not in duty. So the highest of all the platforms of fear, desire, and the duty. And the last one is called the love, approaching the Lord out of love. So now remember, we are discussing about the different categories of spiritual aspirant, irrespective of any sect, any group, any religion, in respect to their attitude towards the motivation or aspiration they approach the Lord. The psychology here is the worship out of love is I'm yours. Please take charge of me. There's no bargaining, there's no calculation, there's no conditions. It's unconditional love for Krishna. And this is what Krishna demands in the Bhagavad Gita. Mamekam Sharnam Raja. Mamekam Sharnam Raja. Aham Tvama Sarva Papebhyo Mokshami Ma Suchay. Krishna says, just surrender unto me. Just depend on me. He doesn't say just depend on me when you have a good times. He doesn't say you depend on me when you have good profit, when everything is happening good in your life. He says depend in both the situation, whether you have good days or the bad days, good periods or the bad periods, good events or the bad events, profit or the loss, honor or dishonor, heat and cold. In all situations, just try to learn to depend on me. Just surrender to me. He's a soul surrender unto Krishna. So one who's on that level of love. Obviously, in all the progression, there's a constant association and guidance of the devotees. That's how you get to know your level and how to proceed to the next level. One maybe the most strongest element in this world is fear. Any activity you will see, most of the activities is initiated or are initiated with this element of fear, insecurities, because this is the most prominent element, emotion in this world, fear. And Bhagavad Gita says, Krishna says, 9 chapter, 34 verse, always think of me. Mai arpita mano buddhir. Give your mind to me. Krishna explicitly demands your unconditional surrender, that you always think about me. Always think of me. The more you think of Krishna, Krishna also thinks of you. Basically, I'm yours. Take charge of me. No bargaining, no calculation, no condition. I just worship Krishna because I love him. And whenever there's a love, there has to be service. So in this kind of relationship or approach or motivation, aspiration towards the Lord is of giving to something to the Lord, not taking something from the Lord. When we approach the Lord out of fear or desire, there is a demand to take something from the Lord. Please give me good marriage, give me good partner, give me good wealth, health, whatever. There's a demand to approach from the Lord. uh, I think the other day we also discussed if the God is omniscient, he knows everything, and he's omnipotent, he's capable of doing everything. Someone knows everything and is capable of doing everything is not doing something to you. It means he has a plan for you. So a person, a worshipper out of love, he acknowledges Lord knows about me uh, because of his relationship with the Lord, because of his realization of the Lord, his experience of the Lord, being connected to the Lord, and how the Lord in the past has worked for me, and he will help me in the future as well. That faith is there because of the realization and connection and worship. So someone who has a love, he will always try to give something to the Lord in the form of a service. Love has no meaning without service. Or rather, service is an expression of your love to the Lord. So let us go further. So these are the four spiritual progression. It may start with fear. You may have desires. Anybody, maybe on any level, but it doesn't matter. But one should be aiming to come to the highest level of his devotion. Okay, you may initiate your prayers with the fear, but you must proceed. So fear is like seeking protection. Desire is okay, creating a provision for yourself, some facilities, maybe wealth, and duty is more connected to responsibility. Love is the relationship. So we are supposed to make that relationship with the Lord. So it's a journey from the survival to surrender, the path of spiritual life. You may initiate your spiritual life just with your survival. Oh no, please protect me. I don't have anything. So, but one must come to the level of complete dependence and surrender to the Lord. That's a spiritual education. Spiritual education is supposed to take you from this lower motivation to the highest motivation of loving the Lord, to the complete surrender. And how spiritually educated one is becoming, you know, to the degree you can check yourself. Am I becoming more spiritually educated, aware, uh, aware of the self is based on your motivation to approach the Lord. Check your desires. When do you think of the Lord most intensely? In the times of fear or the desire or the duty or the love? The level you are in. You can check yourself. So now, if fear is there, continue to remember Krishna. Stay connected with Krishna. If the material desires are there, accept the Lord, attaining the Lord, refine your desires. Don't desire, okay, Lord, give me this. Oh, whatever you think, you can give me. I depend on you. So by this way, your desires will get purified. Even if you worship the Lord out of duty, deepen your feeling for the Lord and pray for the Lord. So the final prayer, which is out of the love, Krishna, I don't know how to love you. Please teach me how to love you. And pure devotion is the ultimate goal of life. That's a that's a standard prayers. Let me love Krishna. Let me love Lord. Simple as it is. Please teach me how to love you and how to approach you with that pure devotion, with no bargaining, no calculation, no condition. If you give me profit, I'll give you 10%. If you don't fulfill my desires, okay, I change my faith to someone else. I worship another personality. Maybe you're not working, not responding. Getting a point. So let me love Krishna. That should be the level of our highest form of worship to Krishna. So now let me summarize you. We discussed today the different levels of worship according to the aspiration, the motivation behind in the worshipper or any spiritual aspirant. So we discussed about the fear. Uh, One may begin one's worship with fear. That's okay. One is seeking protection from the Lord, and Lord is capable of giving protection. And the second thing is out of desire and out of duty, and the last out of love. So whole point of discussing everything is, or the whole point of following our spiritual practices, approaching the Lord, is coming to the level of love. It is said in the Bhagavad Gita, life is not considered successful in spiritual life, obviously, or in life in itself, if one cannot revive his love for Krishna. So the whole purpose of having spiritual education, just like we are discussing here, is to revive your inner love for Krishna. We already have love for Krishna because as being a part of Krishna, as being soul, we have that capacity to love Krishna. But it has to be reawakened with some association and some practices. So, any question on that? How was it, Neetaji?
Really good to know about why we pray to God and the reasons why we pray. Because as you have mentioned, I started my journey right now. I'm in the third stage of responsibilities. I've
Hmm.
filled off my duties, I do the prayers and everything, but and I'm on the way to get the love for Krishna. So
Actually, these stages are also fluctuating. We may be on the duty part sometime, sometime on the fear part, something we desire something from the Lord. It's a mixed up for
mm,
many a times. Many times. It's fluctuating. According to
mm,
the events that's happening in our life, according to surroundings, according to our mental attitude, sometimes we need wealth. Uh,
mhm.
we are in fear. So the point is, the journey is like this. Not that there's a progression always. Now you're on this
It
level,
might be
on
up
that
and
level.
down.
Yeah, up and down always. It will always be mixed. But yeah, at least one
The
should know the
ultimate
aim.
goal
This is the
is to
highest. Yeah, this is the
mhm.
highest aim. And the more you have love, the more think of the lower natures uh,
And also
of
the
that
most
ladder.
important is for me that none of the reasons to worship is something bad. Because sometimes I
Hmm.
feel that people do the worship because of responsibility to do as the duty, and we don't feel it. But right now, I know how it's not something bad. It's just a way of prayer,
Hmm.
or
Duty is
even
a
the
very good
kids
level.
say,
In fact,
mm,
duty is also very high level. There's no expectation from the Lord. There's no selfish interest. It's at least a
mm,
neutral. You may be lacking feelings, but there is a desire to give something to Lord. Your gratitude, express your gratitude, your uh,
mm.
your desire to serve Him. Okay, wish you all the best. Anything you have, Prince or Shubham, to say or
No,
contribute? Okay. Okay, we'll meet more the next Sunday and hope to see you in Gran Canaria next week, especially Prince and maybe Lanzarote in Tunisia.